Oh, there you are, YouTube. Do. Subscribe if you're interested, but also no pressure. But if you'd like to give this video a like, one of those thumbs up that they have here on YouTube, that'd be very much appreciated. Hey, let's do a random ranking today. Let's go to my movie collection behind me and pick out 3 movies at random and then rank those movies based on whatever criteria we come up with. I'll rank them here in the video, but if you'd like to rank them in the comments below, please feel free to do so. Let's get to picking some movies. Also, forgot to mention, if you do participate in the comments below, I'll jump into the comment section and we'll talk about those movies and those rankings. But lately, I've been a few days behind in comments. Apologies for that. It's just been a busy time. A busy time. So I don't know, I've been running behind on that sort of stuff. Okay, but let's get to seeing what we picked. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. All right. So the first one I pulled was Nell. So my father-in-law is a big fan of this movie, and he was just praising it and talking about how great it was, and then my wife and I were like, well, we should probably give it a watch. So we watched it, and I don't think it was that good. If I remember correctly, Jodie Foster was nominated for an Oscar, but I also remember Liam Neeson in this movie while watching it. He just seemed miscast. He also seemed incomplete, and like there's a lot on the cutting room floor maybe with him, and I don't know, it felt like a very disconnected movie. Like there's more to it to make it feel more cohesive, and maybe that would have made the movie too long, and they were like, you know what, we gotta chop this down. Plus I feel like I remember there were some edits that felt like pauses for commercial breaks. That, I could be wrong on that. That just popped into my head as I was talking, so maybe I'm wrong on that. But I just remember feeling like Liam was a miscast, and he never felt fully fleshed out. So that's where I'm at on this movie. Wasn't the biggest fan of it. Next, we have The Lovely Bones. I remember when I saw this, I thought it was like so good. And then I watched it again, and I was like, no, I don't think I like this movie. So this is one of those examples where you watch a movie once, think it's great, and then watch it again, and then you just don't like it. And that usually happens, I think, with movies that you watched when you were a kid and then revisited, and then as an adult you're like, whoa, that was not as good as I thought. But here I was an adult both times, and there wasn't that big of a span of time between the two viewings. I think I saw this in the theater. Pretty sure, because it was Peter Jackson, you know, Lord of the Rings and everything. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, let's see what else he's doing. Pretty sure I saw it in the theater. Can't say for certain. But then I remember watching it again a second time, and I was like, why did I like this movie so much? I think just the high of Peter Jackson and the Lord of the Rings films was spilling over into this movie or something. So therefore I was like, it's great. And then I don't know, I don't like it anymore. Honestly, I always say I don't downsize my collection. I keep everything I have. Kind of a hoarder in that way, I guess, but I would get rid of this movie. I don't care that much about it. I also think Mark Wahlberg is, wasn't there some controversy there? Wasn't someone else, was it maybe Hugh Jackman? Was Hugh Jackman supposed to be in this movie? I'm feeling like Hugh Jackman, somebody was supposed to have that part, and then Mark Wahlberg got it. And I think Mark Wahlberg is hit and miss with me, usually miss. I usually don't like him and stuff, and I don't think I liked him in this movie. Stanley Tucci, he's always great, but I feel like he was a little decorated over the top in terms of makeup and styling and everything. It was just, maybe not over the top, but it was just felt like cliche city. But not that big of a fan of this one. And I usually like everything. You watch my channel, I got something good to say about almost every movie. This one I used to have good things to say about, but I really don't know what happened. Again, I think it was Lord of the Rings spilling over. Next we have a Scorsese film, Shutter Island. Actually, I was going to say highly underrated, but I feel like the way it's talked about is people saying it's highly underrated. But it's like, if everybody's saying it's highly underrated, who's underrating it? Maybe everybody is rating it well and likes it, right? Does that make sense, what I just said there? Like, who are the people saying it's not a good movie? Because I really don't think they're out there. I guess maybe what's happening with this movie is when people do like a top 5 Scorsese, this one's not always on it. So therefore it feels like it's being left out of the great Scorsese film conversation. So people think it's being cast aside as a not good movie. But I think everybody agrees that it is a good movie, right? So maybe underseen, maybe that's the better term. I don't know if it's underrated, because I feel like the people who have seen it like it, but maybe in their, Scorsese's a guy who's made so many fantastic films. So if you can only pick 5, maybe this one's not going to make it. Maybe it's going to be number 7 or 8, but that's still great standing. Maybe it's 10, still great standing for Scorsese. Name a bad Scorsese movie. See? That's why I was about to say underrated, but I don't know if it is underrated. Maybe it's rated. It's probably rated. But I do like this movie. I like all of the callbacks he's doing to older film, even with the filmmaking style. A lot of the moments that maybe CG, I don't know if they are, look like rear projection. Is that what it's called? That just like left my mind for a minute. Like when Leo and Mark Ruffalo are on that ship, everything behind them looks artificial, but to me, it doesn't look like it's due to the limitations of the medium. It looks like a purposeful nod to older cinema. What do you think about that? But there are moments with CG when Leo is hugging Michelle Williams, and then she kind of, turns into flowers or dust or whatever it is. Yeah, actually, I'd have to rewatch it before I make a definitive statement on how I feel the visuals are there. But outside of the visuals, I think it's a great movie. So, how are we going to rank these? Plus, it's suspenseful, it's creepy, it's kind of horror-ish, noir-ish. It just has a lot of those good vibes in it. Twisty, all of that. So, how are we going to rank these? I think I just did it. I just ranked them right here. We're going to go with Shutter Island in the number 1 spot, followed up by Nell. And then the 3rd spot will be The Lovely Bones. So my question to you is, have you seen these movies? And if so, what do you think of them? And if you've seen all 3, how would you rank them? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below, and perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.